So hi guys, today I'm going to answer um, Packet Tracer in chapter 9. So it is entitled Packet Tracer Simulation, TCP and UDP Communication. So in the objectives, the part 1, generate network traffic in simulation mode. Part 2, examine the functionality of the TCP and UDP protocols. So background, the simulation is activity. Simulation activity is intended to provide a foundation for understanding the TCP and UDP in detail. Simulation mode provide the ability to view the functionality of different protocols. So this activity provide an opportunity to explore the functionality of the TCP and UDP protocols, multiplexing and the function of a port number in determining which local application requests the data or is sending the data. So part 1, generate network traffic in simulation mode. So step 1, generate traffic to populate address resolution protocol ARP table. So letter A, click multi-server. So this one, and then click desktop and command prompt, and then enter letter B, enter ping, then ping 192.168.1.255, and then this will may take a second as every device on the network to respond multi-server. So close the multi-server window. So I'm going to close this now. It's done already. So yeah, now I'm going to close this. Then for the step 2, generate web HTTP traffic. So switch to simulation mode. So this one, click the HTTP client. So this one. Then click the desktop tab and web browser. So this one. Then in the URL, enter 192.168.1.254. Then click go. Then envelopes PDU will appear in simulation. So minimize do not close. So hindi no so HTTP client config. So not going to close this. So there's a PDU in HTTP client. Then for the step 3, generate FTP traffic. So click FTP client, this one, and then FTP client, and then click the desktop tab. So this and command prompt again. Then and then enter FTP 192.168.1.254. Then PDU will appear in the simulation. Minimize again, don't close. So it appear again. And then step 4, generate DNS traffic. Click DNS client, so this one. Then click the desktop tab, command prompt, enter NS lookup multi server dot ptu. Then minimize again, don't close. Then the PDU again appear, and then step 5, click email client, so this one, desktop, and then email, so this one. Then click compose, and then to user, So we're going to type user at multi-server dot pt.ptu, and then the subject personalize the subject line, and then personalize the email, and then send, and then minimize but don't close. So minimize again this, and then step 6, verify that the traffic is generated and ready for simulation. Every client computer should have PDU listed in simulation, so it has. Then part 2, examine functionality of the PDU and UDP protocol. So examine multiplexing as all of the traffic crosses the network. So click the capture forward. So this one. And then all of the PDU transferred to the switch. So yes. Then click again. Then some of the PDUs disappear. What do you think happened to them? So I think it's stored in the switch. Click the capture 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, then all clients should have received a reply. Note that only one PDU can cross a wire in each direction at any given time. What is this called? So it called multiplexing. Letter D. A variety of PDU appears in the event list in the upper right pane of the simulation window, where there's so many different color. So so these have many different color. They are all represent different protocols. So click back 8 times. This should reset the simulation. So 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So step 2, examine HTTP traffic as client communicate with the server. So filter the traffic that is currently displayed to the HTTP only and TCP. So that is currently displayed. So click edit filter, then and toggle show all checkbox. Then select HTTP and TCP. HTTP and TCP. TCP. Then event should now display only TCP and HTTP. So yeah, it only display. Show none. Then HTTP and TCP. So, so yeah, it only display HTTP and TCP. So next one is click hold your mouse above the PDU until you find the one that originates. Click the PDU envelope to open it. So click captured forward. Hold your mouse above a PDU. Click, then find that originate. So click the PDU and open it. So click the inbound and then tap the scroll down section. What is the section labeled? So it labeled as TCP. So it labeled as TCP. So are this communication considered to be reliable? So I think TCP is considered as reliable. So yes. Then record the SR port, test port, sequence num, and KC num values. What is written in the field to the left of the windows? So field to the left of the windows. So it has um sequence number 0, acknowledgement number, the offset, reserve flags. Close the PDU and click capture. Close the PDU and click capture again. Return to HTTP. So should return to the HTTP client. So yeah. And then click the PDU envelope. So this one. Then how many port and sequence number different than before? Click inbound. How many port? So the um the the port now has 80 and destination have the source port now have so this one. So let's check. So the port now has a 80 and the destination is 1025. So next one. So the difference than before is that the sequence number is 0 and the acknowledgement number is 1. So there is a second PDU of a different color which HTTP client have prepared to send to multi-server. This is the beginning HTTP. Click to the second PDU and select outbound. So this one, select outbound, and then what information is now listed in TCP section. So in TCP section, listed TCP section, it has now the source port which has 1025, destination port 80, sequence number 1, acknowledgement number 1. So it has that. How are the port and sequence number different from the previous two PDUs? So um, the the sequence number one and acknowledgement number one. Click back until the let's X this simulation reset. So click back. So yeah. Then step 3, examine FTP traffic as the client communicate with the server in the simulation panel. Um, Change edit filter to display FTP and TCP. Display. Change edit filter to display only FTP and TCP. So let's TCP and FTP. So this now um now click capture forward. Hold your cursor above the PDU until you find one that originates from FTP. Click that you found one that originates from FTP client. Click the PDU envelope to open it. FTP client. So it's now the FTP client. Click the inbound. So now click the inbound and then tap scroll down what's select section label. So it is now the TCP. So is communication considered to be reliable? So yes, it is reliable. Record the S record the S source port, destination port, sequence number, and acknowledgement number values. What is written in the field left to Windows. Offset, reserve, and plugs. Close the PDU and click the captured until the PDU returns to FTP client. Close the until a PDU returns to FTP client with check mark. Again. Click the PDU and select inbound. How many port source number than before? So than before. Click the inbound. So how many PDU and port number than before? That's now 21. So click the outbound. So then then close the PDU and click capture forward until a second PDU returns to PDF. So I already did that then. Open the, okay, this one. So open the scroll.tcp section. What is the message from the server? So, so now click back until the simulation is reset. So I'm going to back until the simulation is reset. Then step 4, summon DNS traffic as a client communicate to the server. So change edit filters to DNS. Now DNS and UDP. So UDP and then the DNS. So these two. And then click the PDU envelope. Inbound. Click the inbound. DNS and UDP. Click the PDU and open it in the outbound. What is the section labeled? So number 4, UDP is not so it is UDP, but are these communication considered to be reliable? No, it's not reliable. So record the SR source port and destination values. Why is there's no sequence and acknowledgement to the number? So it does not need to establish a reliable connection. That's why there's no sequence and port num. There's no sequence and um, acknowledgement number. Source and so the source and destination are reversed. So the DNS is the answer. So for the so now I'm going to close the no. So I'm going to close this one then until the DNS client with check mark. Close the PDU and so it now hosts check mark then um so I'm going to click the PDU and then inbound and then how are the port sequence different from before. So the source port is now 53 and the destination port is now 1025 and um so so now click back to the last simulation and reset. Click back until the last simulation is reset. So examine the so now in this simulation, change edit filters to display the POP3 and SMTP. So POP3. So the SMTP, PUP3 and the TCP. So 3. So hold your cursor until you find the email client. So simulation no go. Let's go to email client. So yeah, it's now has the email client. So click in this and what is the inbound? So what transport layer protocol does email traffic use? So 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 um um it is reliable um if the protocol is TCP. So it's TCP. Are those so yeah, it's reliable. Are those communication considered to be so yeah, it's reliable if the protocols are TCP. Record the so there's in this what is written in the field to the left. So again, it's the plug reserve in the offset. Click the so close the PDU and um until the PDU returns to email with the again. Then inbound and then how many ports sequence than before. So in ports now has 25, then 1025. So what is written in the left in the window? So it is the SYN. So close the then so click the outbound. So there's second PDU for different color that the HTTP. So this HTTP client. Click down. So there is a second PDU of a different color that the HTTP has to prepare to send to multi-server. This beginning, click the PDU and select the outbound. Outbound. How are the fourth sequence different from the PDUs? So so the source is now 80 and the destination is 1026. So so now click back until it's reset again. And then for the sixth one, the CTCP so switch back to real time. Then multi-server and then desktop. then command prompt, and then net start, net stat, net stat. So the protocol listed is the TCP, what state that the session by this no, what port number being used by the server. So the port number that sometimes 25 or 80. What state are in the session? So it's state established. So repeat the net state several until you see the established for which server this connection is still open. So that's all for the chapter 9 packet tracer talk. So thank you guys for watching.